My fellow Barbadians, I greet you as we head into a most critical election cycle. On Saturday, I told you that my team and I were ready, and we are. These 30 men and women that have committed themselves to this cause understand sacrifice and are ready for the hard work ahead. We understand all too well how you, the people of Barbados, feel and are focused on doing what's best for the country and to put Barbados first. Let me first of all tell you something about Barbados, about Arrow Week. This week we celebrate the vision and values of the Right Excellent Arrow Walton Barrow, the father of independence, as you know, and the founding father of our party. Some of you may still remember that night on November 30th, 1966, when we became independent. Or that night on Wednesday, May 28th, 1986, when you showed that the power of the people is always greater than the people in power. Tomorrow on Tuesday night, we will host the Arrow Barrow Memorial Lecture starting at 7 p.m. at the Arrow Barrow Auditorium in George Street. The lecture will be delivered by Dr. Andre Henry, Director of the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies, and he will focus on the notion of social justice and putting people and country first. Of course, we invite everyone to be present, and Dr. Henry is from the Cipriani College in Trinidad. Then on Saturday, we have an island-wide canvas where we will be driving across Barbados and interacting with you in your communities to continue listening and having those honest conversations. These are not staged encounters or photo ops. This is what we have been doing for the past 2 years. Regarding the campaign, our official social media platforms will be very active as we share our plans and highlight our activities. But we'll also introduce our candidates to you. We will soon post their bios, and so I encourage you to like and share and follow, because we really want to continue hearing from you. Let me talk about our theme, Barbados First. Now, when we say Barbados First, or as some of you may say, BIM First, we're not talking about a catchy line or slogan. For us, Barbados First means a different way of governing, a higher level of accountability, a deeper respect for the intelligence and dignity of Barbadians. It means people before politics, country before convenience, service above self. That philosophy has guided us as we drafted our manifesto, which we will soon share with the country. And let me be clear, this will not be a document of lofty promises or fancy words. It will be our contract with the people of Barbados, shaped by what you have told us, grounded in reality, and focused on solutions that can actually work. Our core priorities will be crystal clear. We'll focus on crime, because public safety is a right and not a privilege. We'll focus on cost of living, because we are seeing too many families who are barely holding on. We will restore trust in government, because without trust, nothing else works. We will make public health an absolute priority, because no society can thrive if people fear the systems that are meant to care for them. And we will prioritize transportation and infrastructure, because mobility, access, and basic functionality matter. We will discuss these more with you very soon. In the meantime, we have some questions for the Barbados Labour Party. But before I move on, I want to again remind the country of something deeply personal to me. About 20 months ago, I spoke out as a backbencher against what I saw was an injustice. Barbados, I was vilified. When my spirit and my conscience could no longer take it, I had to move from the government side. Since then, I've been insulted, cursed, even threatened, because I dared to raise matters that this Barbados Labour Party government kept hidden, and I dared to ask questions of the other 28 in Parliament. Let me say, I have no regrets whatsoever for speaking up on behalf of the people of Barbados and standing up for what is right and for what is just. The Prime Minister and her team will soon be on many platforms, stages, and television programs. So I want you to pose a few questions directly to the Barbados Labour Party on behalf of the electorate, so that we can all be better informed. I hope they respect us, though, and I hope they respect us enough to answer. Let us come to crime. On the issue of crime, we asked the Barbados Labour Party government, will the BLP accept that there are gangs in Barbados and that anti-gang legislation is needed? Do any senior members of the Barbados Labour Party directly associate with persons who are currently or actively involved in matters of which we cannot be proud? On the issue of cost of living, will the BLP commit to reducing VAT as they once promised? What aspects of BERT 3.0 address cost of living? We need answers to these questions. On the issue of borrowing, is it true that $3 million was borrowed in 2025 alone? What is the total amount borrowed in the last 7 years? On the issue of housing and lands, where are the results of the investigation on Hope that was promised 18 months ago by the Prime Minister? How many windows to the sea are now facing compulsory acquisition? Transport. Why did you use our taxpayer money to buy new buses only then to divest the Transport Board? And by that we mean to close the Transport Board down. On the issue of education and youth, how many 16-year-old students are kicked out of school with no certification over the last 7 years, only to appear in our newspaper shortly after in handcuffs? On the issue of health, why are your two ministers of health completely silent while people suffer and complain about inadequate health service? Water. On the issue of water, how much longer must residents of St. Lucie, St. Peter, St. Joseph, St. Andrew continue to suffer from poor and inefficient water supply services? And just last week we discovered that those parishes of difficulty with water extend to St. George as well. We have many, many more questions, but we believe this is a start. And if the Barbados Labour Party chooses not to answer, then it tells us how they feel about us Barbadians, about us, the ordinary Barbadians. But we cannot leave this media conference this morning unless we tell you about our own commitments. And I want to be clear with Barbados as to what this Democratic Labour Party team will be looking to do. If given the honor and privilege of serving as your new government, this team and I will commit to doing the following. 1, we will reduce VAT. 2, we will introduce anti-gang legislation. 3, we will take immediate steps to reducing the cost of living. 4, we will promote productivity and efficiency in government while reviewing wages in relation to inflation. 5, we will proclaim and enact the integrity in public life legislation. And I want to promise you, Barbadians, that this Democratic Labour Party team stands ready and willing to disclose our own assets. We do that. We make that pledge and that commitment. We are not afraid. 6, we will move towards a freedom of information regime. 7, we will stop treating education policy as a random ad hoc matter and instead execute a clear, cohesive, time-bound program of reform. 8, we will maintain a macroeconomic framework that prioritizes sustainability, relief, and growth. 9, we will further revise the criminal justice reform with a focus on the root causes of crime. 10, we will remove political interference from the public service and allow public servants to work without fear and or intimidation. 11, we will retain control of the transport board and place high priority on services needed most by the vulnerable. 1955 was a significant year. That was the year of the incorporation of the transport board. We will honor the last 70 years of good and efficient service that the transport board has given to this country. And if this government closes it, our Democratic Labour Party government will reopen it. Number 12, we will prioritize renewable energy as a path towards reducing oil imports and electricity bills. We do this and we will do this in the interest of this country, in the interest of the people of this country. And so those are the 12 commitments of which we speak today. And this is just the beginning. As I said, more will be shared with you in the coming days and eventually via our manifesto. But I urge you to keep listening as we publish the solutions that you, the people, have inspired us to come up with. And we will be proud to put them in place to address your needs as we lift our country up. And so in closing, let me say to you that this election is not about noise. It is not about personalities. It is not about who speaks the loudest or uses the fanciest words. It is not about who can spend the most money. Nor is it about the flashiest public relations exercises, who holds the largest parties or picnics. At the heart of it all, this election is about you and about all of us. It is about who listens, who serves, and who has promised to put this country above self. We in the Democratic Labour Party are ready. We are united. And we are offering you a different way forward. Not perfection, but honesty and commitment. Rooted firmly in the ideals of Barbados, Barbadians, and those who make Barbados our home. Thank you very much and good day.